Hari. Amongst the paraphernalia there happened to be some water with tulsi leaves, and as soon as that water touched the witch, she was immediately freed from all her sins. She was suddenly able to remember all her previous life's karma, for which she had received the body of a witch. She observed obeisances to the Brahmanas and said, O Brahmana, I have achieved this condition as a result of my previous karma. Please tell me how I can achieve a better destination. Dharmadatta asked, From what kind of karma have you attained this condition? Where are you from? What is your name? Tell me everything in detail. The witch replied, In my previous life, I was the wife of a Brahmana who was living in the city of Saurashtra. My name is Kalaha. I was a very cruel-natured woman, never treating my husband well. What to speak of treating my husband well, I did not even speak a kind word to him. I never fed him good food. I was always deceptive and very fond of quarreling. For this reason, my husband was always in anxiety due to my actions. Finally, he decided to marry a second wife, and I committed suicide by drinking poison. The Yamadutas then came and bound me, biting me as they dragged me to Yamaloka. There Yamaraj asked Chitragupta, Please check what kind of karma this person has performed and award her accordingly. Chitragupta said, This person has not performed any good karma. She would eat all the nicest foods alone, without sharing them with her husband. She was always averse to her husband. For this reason, she will take birth as a vampire bird. She was always fond of quarreling. For this reason, she will take birth as a stool-eating pig. She used to eat alone from the same pot which she used for cooking. For this reason, she will take birth as a cat who eats her own baby. She has committed suicide, accusing her husband. For this reason, she will remain for some time alone in the form of a witch. She should be sent by the Yamadutas to a place where there is no water, and she should remain there for a lengthy period in this form of a witch. And following this, she will suffer in 3 different lives. The witch said, O Vipravara, I am the most sinful Kalaha, who is standing here in front of you in this form of a witch. I have already spent 500 years in this body. I came up here to the confluence of the Kṛṣna and Veni rivers by possessing the body of a businessman. As soon as I reached the confluence, the associates of Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu forcibly removed me from the body of this businessman. Since then, I have been wandering hither and thither, suffering from great hunger and thirst. Now, upon seeing me, you threw your puja plate at me, and the water and tulsi touched me, freeing me from all my sins. O great Brahmana, please advise me, how can I become free from this degraded form of a witch, and how can I avert the suffering due to me in my next 3 births? After hearing this description of Kalaha's past life, Dharmadatta thought for some time and then said, By performing satkarma like charity, vratas, and so on in the holy dham, people are freed from their sins. But you are in this preta witch body, and therefore you are not qualified to perform these activities. For this reason, I will give you half of the pious credits which I have gathered by performing Kartik Vrat throughout my entire life since childhood. This will certainly guarantee you a better situation. Having spoken these words, Dharmadatta sprinkled water with tulsi leaves upon the witch while chanting the Dvadakshara mantra, or the 12-syllable mantra. As soon as that tulsi water touched the witch and she heard the mantra, she was released from that preta body and appeared in a form of a beautiful Devi. Her beauty was comparable to the beauty of Lakshmi Devi. She then fell to the ground to offer her obeisances and spoke in great ecstasy. O best among the Brahmanas, by your mercy, today I have been freed from this hellish life. I was drowning in an ocean of sins. You came like a boat to deliver me from this ocean of sins. And she was As she was addressing the Brahmana, she could see an effulgent chariot descending from the sky, carrying two Vishnu Doots named Punyashila and Shushila. They were standing at the door of the chariot and carefully picked up the beautiful Devi, placing her on the chariot with them. Dharmadatta was greatly surprised to see the chariot, and he immediately offered prostrated obeisances to the messengers of Lord Vishnu. Punyashila and Shushila picked Dharmadatta up from the ground and said, "Oh, best among the Brahmanas, thank you so much because you are always engaged in Hari Bhajan and merciful upon fallen and unfortunate souls. You observe all Vishnu Vrats, and by giving half of the results of the Kartik Vrat which you have performed since your childhood, you have freed this person from all sins, and at the same time the result of your Kartik Vrat has doubled. Now I am taking her to Vaikuntha Dham. At the end of your life, you will also go to Vaikuntha Dham, along with your two wives, Dharmadatta. Dharmadatta, whoever performs worship of Lord Vishnu with devotion, like you, is blessed and his life is successful. If someone worships Lord Vishnu nicely, there is nothing that the Lord will not give him. He gave Dhruvalok to Dhruva Maharaj, the son of Uttanapad. All living entities are delivered just by remembering his holy name. Previously, the king of the elephants was delivered by the Lord just by remembering his name when he was attacked by a crocodile. The Kartik Vrat which you have observed since your birth for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu is the greatest sacrifice. No yagna, no charity or tirtha is equal to this Kartik Vrat. You are truly blessed. Because you have observed Kartik Vrat, which is very dear to Lord Vishnu, and given half the result of this Kartik Vrat to this lady, she is now going with us to the abode of the Lord, Vaikuntha Lok. The next one is Gunavati appeared at Satyabhama by performing the Damodar Vrat. This pastime took place during the end of Satyayug. There was a Brahmana living in Haridwar named Devasharma. He appeared in the dynasty of Atri and was very expert in the knowledge of the Vedas. He was very nicely situated, but he had no son. He had only one daughter whose name was Gunavati. Devasharma arranged for Gunavati to marry one of his disciples, named Chandra. Chandra was very obedient and had full control of his senses. He was respectful and served Devasharma like his father. One day, both Devasharma and Chandra went to the forest to collect auspicious ingredients like kusha grass for a yagna. While in the forest, they came across a fearsome demon who killed both of them. Due to their pious credits in devotion service, both went back to Vaikuntha. When Gunavati heard about the death of her father and husband, she began to cry pitifully in separation from them. She sold various items from her house and performed a Shraddha ceremony according to her capacity. She then continued to live in that city. Although socially she was dead, she observed two vrats throughout her life, Ekadashi Vrat and Kartik Vrat. Every year, without fail, she observed Kartik Vrat. One year, she was extremely sick, and due to her illness, she became very weak. She was also suffering from fever. Somehow, due to her determination, she still managed to reach the Ganga to take bath. As soon as she entered the water, her body went into shock from the cold, and she fell to the ground trembling. In that helpless condition, she suddenly saw a chariot descending from the sky. She then left her material body, boarded the chariot in her spiritual body, and went to Vaikuntha Lok, where she stayed near Lord Vishnu due to the pious results of her performing Kartik Vrat. By the prayers of the demigods, including Brahma, the Lord later appeared on the earth planet in his form of Sri Krishna. When the Lord came to perform his pastimes, all his associates also came with him. All the members of the Yadav Vams were associates of the Lord. Gunavati appeared as Satyabhama. Her father in her previous life, Devasharma, appeared as Satyajit, the father of Satyabhama, and her husband in her previous life, Chandra, appeared as Akrur. Due to the result of her performance of Kartik Vrat, Gunavati became very dear to the Lord and appeared as Satyabhama to give pleasure to the Lord. In her previous life, she had planted a tulsi garden in front of her house, and as a result of that, she now had a Kalpavriksha tree in front of her palace. Once Satyabhama said, "My Lord, I am blessed. My life is successful by attaining you as my husband. My Lord, please tell me what kind of pious activities did I perform in my previous life that I could be so fortunate to become your wife on this earth planet? Please tell me who I was in my previous life and what I was like." In reply to this inquiry of Satyabhama, Shri Krishna described the events of her previous life. The Lord said, "Just by performing Kartik Vrat, you have attained me as your husband." The next pastime is called A Most Fallen Lady Delivered by Observing Kartik Vrat. In ancient times, there was a Brahmana by the name of Budhu in the state of Dravida. His wife was very wicked and was engaged in all kinds of sinful activities. Due to her association, her husband's lifespan was reduced and he died prematurely. After the death of her husband, she became even more adulterous and felt no shame, even though she was criticized by her community. She had no son or brother and sustained herself by begging rice. She never cooked for herself and often ate rice which had been cooked the previous day. Furthermore, she never visited any holy places nor heard any Puranas. One day, a Brahmana named Kutsa, who was performing a Tirtha Yatra, came to her house. When Kutsa saw that this lady was fully engrossed in adulterous activities, he felt compassion for her and said, "O foolish woman, you must listen to my advice very carefully and attentively. Why are you maintaining this material body, which is made of 5 elements such as earth, water, etc., and which is filled with pus and blood? This body is like a water bubble, and one day it must be destroyed. If you accept this temporary body as eternal, then through proper understanding, you must remove this misconception which has been sitting within your mind. You should meditate upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead and listen to his pastimes with great attention. During the month of Kartik, for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu, you should take an early bath daily, give charity, offer a lamp, circumambulate Lord Vishnu, and offer pranams to him. All these activities will free you from the reactions to many sinful activities you have committed." Having spoken these words, the Brahmana Kutsa left her house. After hearing the instructions of Kutsa, the Brahmani began to repent for all her sinful activities and decided to observe the Kartik Vrat. When the month of Kartik started, she observed the Kartik Vrat by taking early morning bath and offering a lamp daily to Lord Vishnu. Then after some time, when her lifespan was finished, she left her body. After her death, she was promoted to the heavenly planets, and after enjoying heavenly pleasure, she was liberated. Any person who observes Kartik Vrat and offers a lamp every day will be delivered by hearing this pastime. The next pastime is importance of the Amalaki tree in the month of Kartik. It has been stated in the scriptures that during the month of Kartik, on the Chaturdasi during the Shukla Paksh, one should worship the Amalaki tree. This great tree removes all sins. This Chaturdasi is known as a Vaikuntha Chaturdasi, and it is recommended that on this day one should worship Sri Hari along with Sri Radha under the shadow of an Amalaki tree. One should then circumambulate the tree 108 times and offer obeisances and praise to Lord Shyam Sundar. Sri Krishna After offering prayers, one should sit down under the Amalaki tree and listen to the glories of Amalaki. Finally, one should feed some Brahmanas and offer them dakshina, as pleasing the Brahmanas gives pleasure to Lord Sri Hari, who is the giver of liberation. Appearance of the Amalaki tree. At the beginning of creation, the entire universe was submerged under water, and at that time Lord Brahma began chanting the holy name of the Lord. Out of ecstasy, due to eagerness to see the Lord, tears fell from Brahma's eyes. That water, which consisted of the tears of love, fell on the earth planet. From these tears, the Amalaki tree appeared and developed into a huge tree, expanding its branches and sub-branches, and was laden with Amalaki fruits. The Amalaki tree appeared first, before any other tree. It is therefore known as Adhi Ruha. Adi means original and Ruha means tree. After the creation of the Amalaki tree, all other living entities were created. When the Devas were created, they all came to the place where Lord Vishnu's favorite tree, the Amalaki, was born. They were surprised to see the Amalaki tree. Just then, a voice from the sky proclaimed to the demigods, "This Amalaki tree is the best among all trees, because it is very dear to Lord Vishnu. Just by remembering this tree, one will achieve the results of giving a cow in charity. By taking darshan of this tree, one will double the result. By taking darshan of this tree, one will double this result. By eating the fruit of this tree, one will triple this result. One should always serve the Amalaki tree very carefully, because this tree is very dear to Lord Vishnu and has the power to destroy all sins. One should worship the Amalaki tree for the fulfillment of all one's desires. Whoever worships Lord Sri Hari in forests of Amalaki during the month of Kartik and takes prasad under the shadow of this tree will be free from all kinds of sins. Any pious activities performed under the shadow of the Amalaki tree will give millions of times of the benefit. Long ago, there was a great Brahmana named Deva Sharma who was living on the northern bank of the Kaveri river. He was very expert in all the Vedas and Vedangas. Unfortunately, he had a son who was a great Durachari, a notorious person devoid of any good behavior. One day, Deva Sharma, for the benefit of his son, advised him, "O my dear son, now it is the month of Kartik, which is very dear to Lord Vishnu. You should follow all the rules, take an early bath daily, give charity, and follow a vrat during this month. You should worship Lord Vishnu with tulsi manjaris, offer a lamb to the Lord, offer obeisances, and circumambulate Lord Sri Hari." When that wicked boy heard this advice from his father, he became very angry. His lips began to tremble in anger, and he rebuked and blasphemed his father, saying, "Father, I do not need the punya of performing a Kartik vrat. I will not observe this Kartik vrat." After hearing this kind of loose talk from his son, Deva Sharma with great anger said, "O less intelligent, I curse you to become a rat and reside in the trunk of a tree." Upon hearing this curse from his father, the boy became very afraid. He offered his obeisances to his father and asked, "Please tell me how I can become free from that species of life. How long will I remain in that form of a rat?" After hearing this gentle speech of his son, Deva Sharma was pleased and said, "When you hear the glories of Kartik Vrat, which is very dear to Lord Vishnu, you will be liberated." After hearing this from his father, he immediately transformed in the form of a rat and stayed in a dense forest for many years. One day in the month of Kartik, Vishwamitra Rishi along with his followers came to the same forest. They took bath in the river and worshipped Lord Hari, after which they took shelter of the shade of an Amalaki tree. There Vishwamitra Rishi began to describe the glories of the month of Kartik. It is 5:50. They took bath in the river and worshipped Lord Hari, after which they took shelter of the shade of an amalaki tree. There Vishwamitra Rishi began to describe the glories of the month of Kartik, as his disciples sat nearby to listen. There happened to be a hunter roaming in the forest at that time. He was particularly vicious, with the desire to kill not only animals but saintly people as well. However, when he came upon the great Mahatmas, Vishwamitra Rishi, and his disciples, he suddenly developed some intelligence. He offered his obeisances to Vishwamitra Rishi and asked, "What are you all doing here?" Vishwamitra replied, "This is Kartik month. This Kartik month is the best among all months. Any work done in this month grows like a huge banyan tree. If someone performs pious activities by taking an early morning bath, giving charity, worshipping and feeding brahmanas, in this month he achieves akshaya, or an imperishable result." When Vishwamitra thus described these glories of the month of Kartik at the request of the hunter, the cursed son of Devasharma, who was there in the form of a rat, also heard this description. As soon as Vishwamitra concluded his speech, the son of the Brahmana, who was hearing the glories of Kartik Vrat, immediately transformed, taking on a beautiful celestial form. He offered his obeisances to Vishwamitra Rishi and explained his story. He then departed for the heavenly planets. After witnessing this extraordinary event, both Vishwamitra and the hunter were very surprised. The hunter then observed Kartik Vrat and went back to Vaikuntha Lok. This narration clearly illustrates the importance of hearing the pastimes of Sri Krishna while sitting under the shade of an amalaki tree during the month of Kartik. By offering lamps to Sri Hari while sitting under the amalaki tree, one will accumulate unlimited punya or pious results. The next one is the glories of Tulsi Puja in the month of Kartik. This is an ancient incident involving two Brahmanas from the state of Kashmir, Sumedha and Harimedha. They were both great Vishnu Bhaktas and always engaged in devotion service to Lord Vishnu. They were also very merciful towards all living entities and understood all truths properly. At one time, these two Brahmanas started their journey of pilgrimage and eventually came across a garden of Tulsi plants. At this point, they were exhausted from the day's walking, but immediately upon seeing Tulsi, Sumedha circumambulated the garden and offered his obeisances very respectfully. Seeing this, Harimedha asked Sumedha about the glories of Tulsi and what the results of offering pranam to Tulsi was. Sumedha said, "It is too hot here due to direct sunshine. Let us take shelter of that banyan tree. There in the shade of the banyan tree, I will tell you everything." Sumedha then began. Long, long ago, Indra, the king of heaven, had lost his position due to the curse of Durvasa Muni. At that time, Brahma and all the demigods, as well as all the demons, were engaged in churning the milk ocean. From that churning of the milk ocean, many wonderful beings and items emerged, such as the elephant Airavata and the Kalpavriksha tree, Chandrama or the moon, Lakshmi, the horse Uchashrava, and the Kaustuba gem. Lord Hari in the form of Dhanvantari also appeared, along with all celestial medicines and Amrita or nectar. As Lord Vishnu was holding that pot of nectar, which has the power to make one immortal, he felt great happiness. Due to feeling such pleasure, tears began to fall from his eyes, and some tears fell into the pot of nectar. The very moment this happened, Tulsi appeared from the pot. All the demigods, along with Brahma, offered Tulsi and Lakshmi to Lord Sri Hari, which he accepted with great pleasure. Since then, Tulsi has been very dear to Lord Vishnu. who is the protector of the entire universe. Tulsi is his dearmost, therefore I offer her my obeisances. As Sumedha was giving the explanation, they saw an effulgent chariot racing across the sky towards them. Just then, the banyan tree under which they were sitting was uprooted, and two celestial beings appeared from within it. They shone as bright as the sun and lit all the directions. They offered their obeisances to Sumedha and Harimedha, who were surprised and quite overwhelmed. They asked, "Who are you both? Your bodies appear very auspicious, like the Devatas." Hearing this, the two effulgent personalities spoke, "O great Brahmanas, you are our father, mother, guru, friend, and everything to us." One of them said, "My name is Astika. I am a resident of Devalok. One day when I went to Nandakanana to play, where I engaged in pleasurable activities with my celestial ladies for as long as they desired, at that time the necklace of pearls and belly flowers from one of the ladies fell on Lomasha Rishi, who was engaged in tapasya at that place. Upon seeing this, Lomasha Muni became very angry and he wanted to curse her. But after consideration he thought, ladies have no independence, they always depend on others. Therefore, this wicked Astika should be punished. He then cursed me, saying, "You shall become a Brahma Raksha and reside in a banyan tree." After hearing this curse placed upon me, I approached the Muni very humbly and asked him, "O great sage, please tell me how long I will remain a Brahma Raksha and how can I be delivered from this curse?" Pleased with my humility, the Muni said, "When you hear the holy name of Lord Vishnu and the glories of Tulsi from the mouth of a Brahmana, you will immediately be released from this curse and be liberated." Since then, I have been residing in this banyan tree as a Brahma Rakshas in a miserable condition. Today, having had darshan of both of you, I have been delivered from the curse of Lomasha Muni. Now please hear about my friend, who was a great Muni and always engaged in the service of his Guru. Once he disobeyed the orders of his most respectable Guru and thus became a Brahma Rakshas. Today, by your mercy, he has also been delivered. Having told their stories, both of them offered obeisances to the two Brahmanas, circumambulated them, and then left for the Divya Dham. The two great Brahmanas, reciting the glories of Tulsi, then left that place and proceeded on their Tirtha Yatra. This illustrates the importance of worshipping Tulsi in the month of Kartik, which gives immense pleasure to Lord Vishnu. The next one is the glories of offering an Aksha Deepa in the month of Kartik. It is very auspicious to offer an Aksh lamp during the month of Kartik. Every day after taking an early morning bath and also every evening, one should offer this Aksha Deep. By performing this auspicious activity, one will live in this world happily and finally achieve liberation. Maharaja Sunanda observed this Kartik Vrat for the entire month on the advice of a Brahmana named Chandra Sharma. He regularly took an early morning bath and worshipped Lord Vishnu with soft tulsi leaves. Every evening he offered an Akshadeep. While offering the lamp, he chanted the following mantra: Damodare Vishvaya Vishwaroopadharaya Cha Namastitva Pradarsyami Vyoma Dipam Hari Priyam. I offer my obeisances to Lord Damodar, who has accepted a universal form, and I offer my obeisances to Lord Damodar, who has accepted a universal form, and offer this Akshadeep, which is very dear to Lord Hari. O my Lord, let me achieve devotion unto you by observing this vrat. King Sunanda offered a lamb to the Lord daily. In this mood of devotion, he would get up at the Brahma Muhurt in the early morning and again offered Aksha lamb. In this way, Sunanda observed this Kartik Vrat throughout the month, following all the rules and regulations. As a result of this, he enjoyed his life along with his family, and at the end of his life, he went back to Godhead. The next one is Uttana Ekadashi in the month of Kartik. In ancient times, there was a demon named Sankha, who was the son of Sagar, or the ocean. He forcefully took control of all planets, including Indralok. All the demigods had fled their planets and were hiding in a cave due to fear of this demon. The demon Sanak thought, even though I have conquered all demigods, they still appear very powerful. He realized that the demigods derived their power from Vedic mantras and thought, I will plunder the Vedas so that all these demigods will become weak. With this consciousness, the demon Sankha plundered all the Vedas from Satyalok, the planet of Brahma. While being taken by this demon, the personified Vedas fearfully ran away, escaping his control, and merged into the water along with Yagna, mantra and all its seeds. The demon Sankha entered into the ocean in search of the Vedas, but could not find them anywhere. During this time, the Lord, who was sleeping, was approached by the demigods, offering him prayers. Upon hearing the prayers, the Lord awoke and said, O demigods, you have pleased me with your prayers, and I wish to grant you a boon. You have woken me on the Ekadashi Tithi of Shukla Paksh, waxing moon, in the month of Kartik. For this reason, this Tithi is very pleasant and respected by me. The Vedas, which were stolen by the demon Sankha, have been merged into the ocean. I will kill this demon Sankha and bring you the Vedas. During this month of Kartik, anyone who takes an early morning bath should be considered as having taken bath in Avabhrita, the sanctified water of the Yajna. From today, I will reside in the water during the month of Kartik. All you demigods along with the Munis, please come with me into the water. Having said this, the Lord accepted the form of a fish and entered into the water from the sky. After killing the demon Sankha, the Lord came to the forest of Badari or Bhadrakashram in the Himalayas. There he offered all the rishis, Munishwaras, all you should immediately enter into the ocean and collect all the Vedic mantras from the water. In the meantime, I, along with all the demigods, will stay in Prayag. After receiving this order from the Lord, all the Maharishis, by dint of their austerity, rescued the Vedic mantras along with all the yajnas and other mantras. From that day, the rishis became connected to the particular mantras that they rescued, and each became known as the rishi of that mantra. Then all the rishis went together to Prayag to meet the Lord. There they offered all the Vedic mantras to Lord Vishnu and Lord Brahma. Brahma was very happy to receive all the Vedas, and he, along with all the Devas and Rishis, performed the Ashwamedha Yajna at Prayag. Section 3. Kartik Vrat. There are different descriptions about the glories of Kartik Vrat and different rules and regulations to be followed during the month of Kartik. Srila Sanatana Goswami has described the Kartik Vrat in his Hari Bhakti Vilas, quoting the different Puranas like Skanda Puran, Padma Puran, etc. The following is a portion of those descriptions. Glories of Kartik Vrat. All holy places, yajnas, dakshinas, residence in Pushkara, Kurukshetra and the Himalayas, and giving in charity a pile of gold like Mount Meru, reside in Kartik, Lord Krishna's favorite month. The service one does for Lord Vishnu in the month of Kartik is all eternal. O Narada, I tell you the truth. Kartik is the best of months, the most pious of pious deeds, the most purifying of all that purifies. Na kartik samo maso, na kritena samam yugam, na veda sadrisham sastram, na tirtam gangaya samam. No month is like Kartik, no yuga is like Satya Yuga, no scripture is like the Vedas, no holy place is like the Ganga. Kartik is the best of months. Kartik is always dear to the Vaishnavas. O great sage, a Vaishnava who with devotion serves Kartik delivers his ancestors from hell. In the Padma Puran it is said, of the 12 months, Kartik is the most dear to Lord Krishna. To anyone who even slightly worships Lord Vishnu during its time, the month of Kartik gives residence in Lord Vishnu's transcendental abode. As everyone knows, Lord Damodar loves his devotees. Lord Damodar's month, the month of Kartik, also loves the devotees. The month of Kartik thinks even the slightest of devotional service is very big and important. Deepenapi hi yatsrashu priyate harir ishvara sugitam cha dadati eva paraditra prabodhanat. Lord Krishna is pleased by the offerings of a single lamp during the month of Kartik. Lord Krishna glorifies anyone who lights a lamp for someone else to offer. The glories of specific pious activities performed during Kartik. In the Skanda Purana it is said, charity, yajna, japa and austerity performed in the month of Kartik bring a result, O best of the Brahmanas, that will never be destroyed. It is further said, O Narada, I have personally seen that a person who happily reads the Bhagavad Gita during the month of Kartik does not return to the world of birth and death. A person who during the month of Kartik reads the 1,000 holy names of Lord Hari and the story of Gajendra's liberation does not take birth again. O great sage, please give up all other religious practice and simply hear the sacred scriptures in the presence of the deity Lord 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐭𝐫𝐚𝐜 during the month of Kartik.